just letting you guys know you can listen to my No Bleeps podcast anywhere you stream podcasts or on my No Bleeps YouTube channel. Link in the description. Hey guys, it's Spilly and welcome back to Spill Sesh. Today we're talking about Gabbie Hanna and Safiya and a weird turn of events. Basically, I was watching Dustin Daly and Nick Snyder talk about this entire situation, and then they said that they originally found this from Angelica Oles, who I love so much, so I definitely want to credit everyone and link them down below for finding this tea. Although this tea has been kind of out for a month now, it hasn't been talked about until now because people just hadn't seen it and people hadn't found it, but I definitely felt like it was worth talking about because there's some really crazy-ish going on in this video. So if you guys don't know Daniel Prada, he is Joey Graceffa's ex-boyfriend. He has a channel of his own, and he did a answering questions I've avoided post-breakup video. And this video, you guys, there is so much freaking tea in here, and specifically about Gabbie Hanna. Everyone has just been like, oh my god. And with the new channel that Gabbie has made called Gabbie Hanna Music, she's been doing Vlogmas, vlogging every single day, and she's basically said that she is not the person that she has been on her main channels and on social media. Like, that's not her. She's been like playing a character. She's like this fake person when she's on camera, and you know, she is not that person. So she made this channel to vlog and kind of say that she is a completely different person off camera, behind the scenes, and she's trying to show more of that on her channel. Now, the crazy thing is, she says like she really prides herself on getting people to like her and all of this stuff, but it's a little confusing when you hear about the things that Daniel was saying. Before I talk about this, before I talk about Gabbie, before I talk about Safiya, because that is shocking. Oh my gosh. This is obviously just coming from one side, although there are many people that have, in Gabbie's case, talked about Gabbie in a negative light. There's many people that have come out and said they had negative experiences being friends with her, all of this stuff. It's just, this is kind of like a new development because this is being seen in a professional light, because most of the time when people come out and talk about Gabbie, it's because of drama behind the scenes. Usually Trisha, there was drama with Gabby DiMartino, there's drama with Alex James, and obviously Jessie Smiles. We all know the stuff that has pretty much gone on with Gabbie Hanna and other people, but in a professional light, that is pretty much what Daniel is detailing in this video, how Gabbie Hanna is when she is like on set somewhere. And so that's what we're going to be talking about. We're also going to be talking about Safiya and his experience, because everyone in the comments is basically like, what do you mean? We love Safiya and I love her too. So I was very shocked to hear about this, but who knows, maybe she was just like having a bad week or a month, or who knows. Basically in this video, he was asked about Escape the Night, which if you guys do not know, Escape the Night is a fantasy horror reality web series hosted by Joey Graceffa. The best way to describe it is everybody on the show is a famous YouTuber, like really big successful YouTubers have been on this show. They're all invited to a location, aka the sets. There's like a story that is happening and they are reacting to the story and trying to solve the missions. If you are a YouTuber on the show, you are not given a script. You kind of go through the show and there are actors on the show that kind of like guide them through, solve like a mystery that is going on, and along the way people kind of get killed off, and whoever's the last one there is like the winner, basically. It's not a game show, but that's like the best way I could describe it. You gotta see it for yourselves to really understand it here, but it is a very highly produced, multi-million-dollar show. Daniel has worked on all of the seasons of Escape the Night and is a senior producer now. Daniel was talking about how he didn't really get along with certain people on this show, and it's very interesting how YouTubers can be taken from their channel and then put onto a production with the crew and then suddenly act very different. And some people just come into the room and think they're the biggest star in the room, even though there's 10 other people there, and they want to be messy, they want to be fussy, they don't want to be humble. And he says that none of these people are currently in his life at the moment. So first he starts off with Safiya, because the question ultimately was, who is your least favorite person on Escape the Night? And Safiya, he said that he's not a big fan of, and that she did not promote the show at all, and that, you know, she was on the show and it was in the contract for her to promote the show and she didn't. And he said that was gross to him because, you know, why wasn't she proud of the show? And he says he's not dragging her, it's just the truth. Like, if you're in the show and you're contractually obligated to promote the show, like, why didn't you promote the show? Like, did you think that you didn't need the show? Because people usually want to promote something because they're also getting something out of it. Like, they're getting clout basically from being on the show because the show is getting so highly promoted, but maybe she felt like she didn't need that, and so she didn't promote it. And so Danielle did not like that, and people in the comments were very shook, and they're like, oh my gosh, can we not like Safiya? And I saw a comment that was like, just because Danielle says he doesn't, really like her, is not a big fan of her, doesn't mean you can't like her. The comment was like, I'm disappointed to hear this about Safiya. And he says, I'm sure she's wonderful, but my experience was pretty meh. So I just think that, maybe other people have a better experience with her. Maybe she was just having a bad week or a month or experience on the show. I don't think like saying that what she did was gross was maybe the best words to use, but obviously this is just like his opinion and his side, and I think compared to the diva behavior that he's going to describe later, this is much less of a like crime. Anyways, let's get into this Gabbie Hanna stuff, because this is the stuff that is just like, girl, you better fix this, you better not act this way on set, cause this is not okay. And apparently this wasn't the full extent of which he could have talked about her. Someone commented and said, we all knew this about Gabbie. I'm glad someone finally said something. And he said, oh, I could say much more, but what's the point? So he says he had issues with her on 2 seasons. I believe she was on season 2, and then she came back for All Stars. She was on season 4. And he says that they have like this weird relationship. They're like on and off friends, but she is not in his life because this year he has stepped back from a lot of friendship. But he said she was miserable to work with, you guys. What? Miserable to work with? That is, I would literally cry if someone said that about me. Like, you have to fix something if someone is saying that you're miserable to work with. He said that she was great on camera. Like, she was really good on camera. She really brought the drama. That's what made the show so interesting, because like I said, the show is unscripted. So she's a super dramatic person, and she obviously was able to make the show super entertaining. But working with her, though, that was not the case. He called her a nightmare. He said that she had diva antics, there was a lot of screaming and yelling on her part, and just a lot of unprofessional behavior, and that it was miserable once again. And he said that, she made him cry, and said that if you see people who don't have a lot of friends in the industry, or they aren't well liked in the industry, there is always a reason why. And the person who cries wolf the hardest is usually the wolf themselves. That's literally what he said. Yikes. This truly is honestly, I want to say shocking in a way, because I just feel like for someone who claims that they want to be so well liked by other people, like, why would you act this way? Obviously, I gotta say, this is just one side. Obviously, Joey has talked about people not being so great on set of the show before, and now people are just like, well, he's probably talking about Gabbie since Daniel's talking about Gabbie. This is just this one side, so I can't say for sure she was miserable to work with, but it's disappointing to hear. If someone is saying that they try really hard to get people to like them, and then you hear this about them, it's just like, girl, you are not trying hard enough. Yelling and screaming, diva antics, like, you need to take this ego back. You might have a lot of followers, and you might have a lot of fans that really love you and stans that really fight hard for you, but at the end of the day, when you show up, you need to be acting like so grateful for everyone. That's like one thing that I truly hear all the time about actors and actresses, or anyone that is famous. You should treat everyone in the room with the same level of respect, from the PAs getting the coffee for you to the directors. You need to be treating them with the same respect, because that is what people will remember, and that is what people will take with them and tell other people. They'll be like, oh my gosh, you won't believe how nice they were. That's the reputation that you want to have. You have to like be mindful of being nice to literally everyone, even the little people on set. Like, that's just it. You cannot be acting like a diva. It's not a good look. What is that doing for you? Making you feel more famous on the inside? And it's just a little bit more confusing with how she has been making these videos talking about how she feels like the girl that never gets invited over to girls' houses or parties in middle school and high school and stuff like that, and she's always left out. It's like, well, what about this attitude? I don't know. So there's obviously a lot of questions being raised, especially with how Gabbie has been posting new content on her new channel. But I definitely want to know what you guys think about this, what Daniel had to say, Gabbie's new channel, obviously the Safiya thing. Wow, I'm disappointed. That's what I have to say. I'm disappointed. I'm not trying to hate you guys. I'm just telling you guys what I have heard. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.